Hey, I think this is it. We will start this meeting. So my name is Andriy Lokotosh. I work at EPAM, a solution architect, and I have a huge pleasure to introduce today two wonderful colleagues, um, very proficient, both very skilled, both with a great career story on a background. So maybe we will start with Liubou. Luba, good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah, good afternoon. So, yeah, my name is Liubou Kapatsevich, and I'm actually solution architect as well, but today we're speaking about technical leads and career journey. So I'm 10 years in IT, and I've started my career journey just from Java Lab, and actually I've graduated software engineer, and there was a Java Lab in my university, so I went to this lab and I had a great opportunity to learn Salesforce in that lab, and it was 10 years ago, so no trailhead yet, just some development documentation. So I had an opportunity to learn Salesforce and pass developer certification, and after that I got a chance to start to work with this technology. But during these 10 years, I actually had a lot of different technologies. I've switched between Salesforce, Java, and I also had a chance to work with SAP hybrids and even interesting experience working in MuleSoft and fix some bugs in the project on that technology. And 3 years ago, I have moved back to Salesforce with an idea that I want to grow in this direction. I want to become a really experienced person with Salesforce. So for the last 4 years, I was working on a different project with a different amazing teams. Mostly I was on the tech lead or team lead position, or even if I was assigned to the project as a solution architect, I still was kind of mentor for guys who was working with me as technical leads or team leads. So I do believe that I have pretty big experience, and I hope that my knowledge can be interesting for our audience today. So hi guys.
Love it. Wonderful. So from Salesforce developer to tech lead, and recently, like a month ago, or I think 2 weeks ago, you passed internal assessment for solution architect one. So our biggest wishes for your career as well. Cool. And another another member of this conversation, Kostadin Stoev. Welcome. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Andriy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. My name is Kostadin. I've been working for the past 7+ years in the Salesforce ecosystem. Honestly, since I've started my professional career in IT, I've always been working with Salesforce and nothing else. I have started from being a junior administrator to being a senior administrator, from going to the junior dev position, climbing up mid, senior developer, and then currently my position is lead developer here at EPAM. I'm part of the Salesforce practice here in Bulgaria. I've been primarily dealing with Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and lately with Community Cloud for a UK-based client. And if you can see, as it's emphasized on my slide, I have gained quite a lot of certificates for my career, but they were primarily, due to the knowledge that a person gains during that endeavor. But we're going to talk about this later, I guess.
Yeah, I love it. I know that's not easy at all, like getting certificates, especially when you start in kicking like this marketing cloud, Pardot, nonprofit education. It's kind of tough, but yeah, system application architect, that's great achievement. So Yeah, I have a list of questions for you guys. I'm going to challenge you this evening. I'm not will be easy on you at all. So first, really easy question for you, Kostadin. Like how did Salesforce change over the past years? Like you 7+ years in Salesforce ecosystem. So could you share some stories? Like where did you start? Did you was a witness of S controls, of like the rise of Visual Force? Do you have some
Yes.
stories?
Yeah, so basically when I started working in the Salesforce ecosystem back in 2014, as controls were just being phased out, but Visual Force pages were sort of the prime technology for and the standard for the Salesforce UI components. During that time, so 7 years later, Salesforce had changed, I think, dramatically and for the better. From a technology perspective, they have decided to slowly phase out Visual Force pages and Visual Force components to something more modern, using modern JavaScript and HTML, such as Aura. But then 2 years later, that was, I think, in 2016, then 2 years later, they decided to shift to Lightning Web Components, which is the now modern stack for web development, not only in Salesforce, but globally by using JavaScript components. So this was one of the major shifts in terms of development within the ecosystem. As for the other aspect, which I'm currently thinking of, and that is the learning aspect, I think the biggest piece here is the learning, because it's a system that you have to learn on the go in most cases, because you cannot allow yourself to own your own org, right? And they did that shift in 2014, I think. They introduced a Trailhead. So this is the learning center for all Salesforce related things. And I spend a lot of countless hours there trying to learn about everything, trying to, gradually learn and adapt myself to the all upcoming pieces from their end.
Awesome. Thank you. So another really easy question for you both about your schedule, right? So I think many people wondering, okay, you are a technical lead engineer. What is your schedule, and how many hours, and how much time do you spend with a customer, with a team? Liubou, do you want to take this one?
I would say it's almost the whole day. Because when you're a technical lead, you need to communicate with client and answer to any technical questions they have, any problem on the production, anything that they need to understand about Salesforce from technical point of view. At the same time, you have a team, and your team needs your assistance. It's probably when it's some junior developers, they probably have some questions how to solve mesh conflicts or something like that. So it's kind of the whole day with the communication, and you don't even have a time to write a line of the code. That's my feeling.
Okay, got it. Kostadin, what about you? Do you have time for coding? What is your schedule?
Yeah, I have to sort of agree with Liubou. So we're not working together on projects, but my schedule is pretty similar. Like I'm currently trying to juggle between my development team and the client. And the client is very aware that I am not full capacity working on the dev tasks. But my main focus is to be the link between the business and the development team, and to be that facilitator to resolve any potential issues. By when I'm on the client side, I talk about potential stories, potential items that we're gonna drag into our development cycles. When I'm with the development team, I'm trying to get into the more technical side of things, and I'm trying to say, look, this is the business requirement. This is what we are proposing. What do you think about it? So Yes, we are the facilitators, and we are not coding full time. This is the life of the lead developer.
Right, but there is a question. Do you allow to, you know, have some coding hours at your evening, or you just stop coding at all?
No, I have not stopped coding at all. In fact, if I have to share the last time I coded, it was 30 minutes ago. I've actually had to deliver a full
push, right?
Yes, one last push. I had to deliver a story I've been preparing for a week now. So it was a big piece, like 40 components. So yeah, we still have time for it. Not as much as before, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you know, with that responsibility, I'm hearing a lot from young developers that here is the saying, like, less work, more talk, right? So you less work really, but you more talking. Do you agree with that, or it's just bad saying? Do you feel that you delivering something, or you just, you know, you're just talking with the developers, with a customer?
Probably I can answer. Sometimes it's not an easy work to talk to people. Sometimes you need to negotiate some tricky moments when probably it was kind of, let's have an example. There was some gap in business requirements and client trying to blame you and your team. And you need to somehow explain customer that it's actually not a team fault, but you don't need to say customer that it's your fault. So, and at the moment when you kind of negotiate it to a good result for the both team and client, you feel like, yeah, I did something good today and I was successful today.
Sounds like you're saying like success of your team, success of your project, and most important, success of your customer. That's actually responsibilities of team or technically. Do you agree?
I would say it's not a success of one person. It's kind of success of good teamwork. When team working good and you kind of know that your guys is doing their best and you doing your best and everyone make their task in a good way, and it will be success.
Got it, understood. Right, Kostadin, do you want to add something to that? Do you agree?
Yeah, for especially for the part, you know, less talk, more work, I don't entirely agree, because I really think that if things are well, I mean, if things are well discussed before starting any type of work, it will be really easy during your development phase. Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes we get to be on sessions that are endless talking and we don't achieve anything. So I'm strictly against it, and I don't think that it's good and healthy for the team. But a moderate type of discussion in length is really healthy for the whole development cycle.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, so here is the first challenge for you. I'm a middle software engineer. I'm a good Salesforce developer, and I feel like I'm really ready to push myself into next level. I did some mentorship in the background, so I help with the young trainees to get into junior position. And now there is a project in my company saying, like, do you want to try like a leadership position? So the question is, do you really need to be senior developer to become a lead? Do you really need to have a hard skill set, solid senior mindset to start leading the team? Both?
I would say no, and I have really good example in my life. So I'm not only technical lead, but also here in EPAM we have some like resource manager structure. It's actually renamed to unit manager. So I have a person who is, I'm helping this person to grow in the company, and I don't have any relationship with him on the project side and so on. So I have such person, and he actually was working on the project as just a developer, and he is actually a middle developer by the title. And after some time, clients come to us and say that this person has pretty good experience in Salesforce. They like him and they want him to lead a new stream. So this middle developer started to be a tech lead by the role on the project, and they successfully done the project. So he was able to manage the team, and team was pretty experienced. There was some guys with the same title, or even senior developers was in his team, and he was able to lead the team. So I do believe it's good technical lead should have strong hard skills, but if this person must have, I would say, good soft skill as well. Such person should have great personalities to become a good technical lead. And if the person has these strong soft skills, I do believe that this person will be able to lead the team despite the fact that it's just a middle developer by the title.
Okay, Kostadin, do you want to comment this?
Yes, I strongly agree with what Liubou said, and yes, you don't need to be a senior developer to become a lead. You need strong technical background for this, but the lead developer is not only a developer. As I said, he's a facilitator, and as such, you need strong soft skills. And I think communication is one side of this. So if you're not able to communicate properly, I don't see how a person can become a strong leader for their development team. And such leaders are usually emerging naturally. They're not forced. You can see it all the time. I see it here at EPAM. I've seen it in previous companies. When you are in a team, you can clearly see who is the lead there. You don't need to name it. They don't have to have the title. You can see it because people trust them. They're always communicating the potential issues, and their opinion is always valuable to everyone.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, so looks like the doors is open in front of me. I'm a middle developer. I'm ready to go. So here's the next challenge. I started looking onto the market, and there is a company which proposed me, come to us, and you will become a lead. You will get a title, technical lead. Just come to us. And as a good developer, I go to my resource manager and I started thinking, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to take a challenge. I'm not a senior developer, but again, I have looks like I have an offer from another company. So how would you handle this type of situation, Liubou? What do you will recommend to me as a resource manager?
I would recommend you to try this role and only after that get this title, because without experience, you can be successful if you have all the strong soft skills and strong personalities. But from the other side, it can be a case when you don't have such, and when you will have that title, but will not have experience in this role or good soft skills, it will be just a title. You kind of will work in the team, but team will not feel like you are their lead. They will try to find someone else who will help them. So I would say experience and role first, and then title. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it feels like, if you didn't have enough experience, leadership experience, naturally there will be someone who will raise the hand and will start like pushing you and challenge you. So I think it's really better to start from maybe small projects, like I don't know, like pizza size project, 3 developers, junior developers, nothing super fancy. Like on a technology level, you should be confident what you're doing. Like maybe this will be not the biggest challenge for you, not the greatest technology stack, but from the leadership, that's where you will be working hard on getting those skills. So, Kostadin, do you agree? Title first or role first? What was your story? How did you get like your title?
So I would probably say role first, and I'll explain why. Because I had a similar experience at work. So I was working as a senior administrator at that point. I see this job offer from a job listing from a fintech company. I applied to it. They hire me as an administrator. Everything's fine. Turns out they needed a developer, not an administrator. So I tell them, look, I can take over the development tasks. I've done enough Salesforce development, but I've never had the courage to do that leap forward. So they give me the tasks. I'm dealing with them fine. I do whatever they want, whatever they say, everything's perfect. Then one day the product owner comes and says, I spoke with the architect, I spoke with the client, and basically they're saying, you have the experience, you have the knowledge, but your title still says administrator. So we have to do something about it. Then I go back to my manager. I said, look, I've proven myself. I've done all the development tasks. I've done everything. The client, I'm ready to take the leap. He says, I'll do whatever I can. And that's what he did. He goes to HR. He files my promotion. They approve it. Everything's fine. The client is happy. I'm happy because I've taken the next step. But I had to prove myself with that. Without them asking me to go and learn on the job, then I don't see how I could have taken it.
Great story. I believe this is like, it's hard to me to imagine that someone choose another path. Anyway, it will be challenging if you accept title, like you starting from the blank page, and it's a little bit scary. Okay, I'm hearing a lot like different titles: team lead, tech lead, lead software engineer. Let's figure out what are the difference. What are the difference between team lead and technical lead, and is there any difference? Liubou, what is your opinion?
It's actually from the name. So technical lead is a person who is caring about mostly technical part of the project, and team lead, I would say it's not a bigger part from some point of view. Yes, it's a little bit different responsibility. So you need to take care not only about developers, but I actually have a case when I had a team with BAs and QAs and developers, and I was a team lead for the whole this team, and I was solving problems that our BAs have with the client, and when we don't have clear QA process, I also try to manage these things. So team lead, it's mostly about managing team, and tech lead, it's mostly about technical part of the team.
Okay, so if I'm capturing it correct, like this is different roles. Technical lead is more oriented on designing technical solutions, right? Designing
making
technical
code review,
approach.
yeah.
Making
sometimes
code review.
Writing code.
Probably POC work, spike work, also like then what is the challenge for the team lead, Kostadin? Like, it sounds like all funny work delegated to technical lead. What is the challenge for team lead?
Well, team lead is actually has slightly more responsibilities than a tech lead. A team lead is partially a tech lead as well, because you're also leading that development team, right? You're having the development team, but on the other hand, you're making sure that you take care of the QAs, the QA team, the business analysts, the products, the scrum masters, and basically any member on the development team as a whole is it will be part of your responsibilities to deal with them as well, in order to protect that development team from outside factors. So yes, essentially, this is the tiny difference between both. You have to take care of the people, not only of the technical personnel, if I can put it that way. And from my experience, I can say that in my development team, as a team lead, I take care of the people. And for example, I have regular one-on-one sessions with them to figure out how they feel about the project, how do they feel themselves, are they burned out? And basically to understand more about them. It's that more human factor rather than only being project focused and solution focused.
So for me, it looks like this is more a client-facing role. So you're communicating a lot with the customer, with a, I don't know, BA from client side, and you really managing the people, your team expectation, and health checks, probably performance review as well. This is on the shoulder of team lead. Great, cool. All right. So what about the certifications? How do you feel about Salesforce certifications? Is that really important for self-development, career growth? What are your opinion, Liubou?
Yeah, definitely. It's really important because it's really difficult to try everything in Salesforce in your project. Most usually it's limited to some amount of technologies, but the trend is that Salesforce introduced a lot of different clouds, and next year project can be in a different cloud. And when you learn something new, when you go through that certification preparation process, you have an opportunity to learn that new cloud, and you can choose your next project, and you have a lot and much more opportunities for next projects. So from my point of view, yeah, it's definitely important for your self-improvement past different certifications.
Do you have, Kostadin, any recommendations for a developer? Like, how many certifications should I have as a developer? How many certifications I should have as a team lead, tech lead?
I have to be a bit vague on it, but I'll explain why. There shouldn't be a strict number of certification a person should have. And I think that the person should have certifications only if he sees a value out of them. For the past 7 or so years, I've seen a lot of people with and without certificates. I've seen people with more certificates than I've had. And honestly, when we started working with them, it turns out that they were just papers that they were bragging with. On the other hand, I've seen people that have no certification and they were just brilliant. A guy was hired. He had 1 year experience with Salesforce. He knew so much about the platform and the development that it took me 4 years to acquire that knowledge. So yeah, back on the question, I don't think that it's a good idea to have a certificate just to have it. It's a good start to, attend one and see how it goes, how you find it, as if it's bringing you any values. And if you like it, for example, I do find a great value in them, And as Liubou said, it's giving you that broad knowledge about things that you might not experience in your day-to-day work, because Salesforce is massive.
Mm-hmm. Got it. But there is no certification like team lead, tech lead. I mean, you can get a hard skills, you can get some consultant skills about the clouds, but how do you get the, I don't know, the knowledge or soft skill set to become a good, or at least to start preparing for a team lead role? And most important, like this is another question, how companies should support your goals? I mean, not just we support you, but what other actions companies should do in order to support your your movement into the team lead or tech lead role? Kostadin?
Yeah, so I'll start from the back, since you've just mentioned company support, and company support is critical for your growth as a tech lead, as a developer, basically as a person. I have left my first company because of the lack of support that they have offered me. They were good at supporting me on acquiring the needed soft skills, and I'm going to flip back to that in a second. But they never expressed any concern regarding my technical growth. Basically, the story is I was really keen to get that first admin certification, because I wanted to experience the whole Salesforce certification process, the knowledge, and so on. They just didn't want to do that, and by the time attending the exam costed as much as my whole salary, so they didn't want to cover it. So basically I said, I'll cover it myself, whatever it costs. I attended the certification, I passed it. Then I presented it to them, sort of, I was sort of bragging about it. I said, look, I've got it, but I have no will to work for you anymore. So I just decided to leave the company and find a better place that is going to support me. And so going forward, every company that I've applied for, the first thing I've asked is if I wanted to gain more knowledge regarding the platform, are you going to support me? And this is the key factor for every company that I have been. This is all I've asked for.
Got it. Thank you. Liubou, do you want to answer or add anything on top of that?
Yeah, I fully support Kostadin in his explanation about company support, and for the question how to build your soft skills, I was pretty lucky that we have some kind of template with explanation versus expectation for a tech lead or senior developer or solution architect in the company. So it's pretty easy to go through this template and identify that, okay, good tech lead should know how to delegate things, how to control that tasks that you delegated will be successfully done, and such things. So if I, for example, have gaps in this area, so I don't understand that I need to learn something. So going by such template, it's good to build your own list, what you need to learn. And what else? I like that I had really good managers who advised me different trainings and courses. So I was lucky to learn a lot of information about that management activities, and it was really helpful to have this kind of theory, how to deal with some cases, how to negotiate, and yeah, I really like it.
Got it. Just before we continue, I must say, guys, just if you have any questions, drop that in the chat, and later on we will pick two best questions, And actually, we have presents for you. So Liubou, Kostadin will help us to figure out like most interesting 2 questions or most challenging questions. And yeah, and we will share some presents with you. So going back to this, right? I see a lot when, you know, people switching the company or starting, I don't know, new role, they are interested also not about the like benefit, salary benefit, but also what company can propose in matter of, you know, developing. Like one of the case, you 5 years in Salesforce, you've been in a multiple position, senior developer, K developer, lead developer, and you have a goal to become an architect. The same with the leads. So I believe, and just my opinion, that companies should provide a platform or a culture of sharing the knowledge. Most important, does this company has like experts in the area which can share the knowledge? Because having the good experts who are working on a project and they don't have a strive to share the knowledge, that's not enough. You need to really ask like, okay, what is your culture? How can I develop my skills? Do you have any platform like, I don't know, you know, and any sort of platforms where I can have a self-study? Do you have any sort of virtual or on-site you know, training courses? Or if I want to request or participate in those courses, are you going to support me? Because sometimes those courses can be up to 15, like 1K, or you know, especially some Scrum Agile thing. So that's really important. Got it, guys. So okay, what if, for example, I don't care about this self-skill stuff at all? I'm a senior developer, right? And I don't care about managing team. I'm okay communicating with other team members, but I'm a technical person. I'm a result-oriented guy. I don't want to spend time on those meetings at all. I less meetings, more work, more coding, more challenging stuff. There is a plenty of folks who think about it. What do you recommend for me? What will be my next level? How would I challenge myself to the next level? Obviously, all those team lead, tech lead stuff, like it's kind of creepy for me. I don't want to communicate with a customer. What do you recommend for me?
So my recommendation would be, do not become a manager or an architect, because it's not something that would be interesting for you. So from my point of view, for such people, it's a good idea to grow in this development area, because actually, if person good in development and don't want to speak, why not? Let's propose such person to grow in this area. And what is interesting here that we have such direction in the company. There is advanced engineering guys who actually, like, I would say, rockstar in some technology. So when there is a really challenging task to implement some POC or something like that, such advanced engineers guys can be involved, and they really can implement, I do believe, anything that's needed on their technology. So I would propose such person to grow and try yourself in this direction.
I'm just curious, what type of, do you have any examples of this type of challenging work? Like, you know, what advanced engineer, this is official title, and this is title come across multiple technology stacks like Java, C#. So the guy with this title, what kind of work he can deliver if you're talking about the Salesforce? Kostadin, do you have any examples? Liubou? Just FYI, I have a couple examples. So on a backup, I am prepared.
Yeah, you can share, Andrei, because I cannot think of any proper examples right now.
Yeah, so one of the type of work is, of course, like managing packages. Sometimes this is really challenging to design dependencies between the packages, especially when we're talking about the method data dependencies. So good design on a package level is crucial. Sometimes those persons responsible for really heavy security reviews on a managed packages as well. Another type of work is heavy duty integrations, like where we're not talking about point to point, we're talking about a long process on the background, like scheduled process and have integrations through the middleware. Sometimes those persons actually develop its skills, not only in Salesforce, but in a related technologies like MuleSoft. So they can fluently speak about integration patterns, best approaches into handling authentication, authorization, maybe identity management as well. This is part of the advanced technology stack. So they are really experts in the technology recommendation, not related only to Salesforce, but to other platforms like Heroku. There is plenty of projects where we have a Heroku platform as a good support for Salesforce. Right. So we actually are wrapping up, and we're leaving some time for Q&A session. Let's just sum up, your recipe or your best advices, how I can develop myself and become, let's say technical lead. Now we understand the difference, right? So technical lead or team lead, I don't know, just any recommendation to develop soft skills. Kostadin?
Yeah, so as a technical lead, and especially for developing soft skills, it's the tricky part because the technical skills are sort of straightforward. You know the technology, you know how much it expands and where it ends, and you know all the challenges that you can meet. But with soft skills, it's slightly a bit of an unknown. The things with them is if you want to improve them, you should constantly rely on feedback. I think this is not only important, it's critical because the feedback from absolutely everything, communication with clients or development or the development team is what is going to drive you to take a leap forward and start improving yourself. Yeah, and I think there isn't a specific recipe. I don't think I have followed anything. I think, as I said earlier, it kind of comes natural to you. But without the feedback, I don't think I could have adapted myself, and you know, to improve my soft skills. And of course, I can also add that, you know, it's good to take a look at how your sort of competitors, I would say, are performing. Basically, the people as part of your team, you know, the other developers, you can always see how they react, how they communicate, and you can also, you know, adapt yourself and figure out whether that's healthy for the team. You know, copying is another way of improving yourself.
Yeah, and just to continue, I like your list. Do you think that failure in this position is also like a good lesson? Can you expect failures and how to recover from them?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, there is no learning without a failure, right? So it happens constantly. I mean, whoever is lying to themselves that you're not bound to fail at some point, they're lying to themselves. You have to do it. It's gonna happen eventually. You don't have to force it, of course, because this is bad. But it's going to happen, and the recovery is not as bad as you can think of. For example, as a team lead, you expect people not to be happy with a project, people not delivering. or we deliver, but the client doesn't know what to do and changes their requirements all the time. The key to all of this, again, is communication and letting everyone know that as soon as they raise any potential issues, the faster we can recover from any failure.
Awesome. Liubou, what is on your list?
I would add a small comment about failure. I do believe it depends how you will behave after that fail. If you will just cry and do nothing, so no result. But yeah, if you learn that lesson and you will improve yourself after that, you will grow, and you will grow even better after fail than after success, because it's kind of painful learning. It's kind of improve you better because you kind of try to do your best to not make that fail one more time. So from my list, I can add that yeah, it's pretty important, like, just to be patient, because yeah, people will interrupt you. You will try to work, like make coding, but everyone will want to talk to you. Everyone will have some questions to you. It's just your new role. You are kind of person who's not just writing code now. So you need to understand that that's your new life, and you need to support people. And without your support, it's probably will not be successful project. So improve soft skills, improve hard skills, and learn.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to just imagine how you can improve your soft skill if not trying, failing, and most important, taking responsibility of that. So yeah. Like, you had a bad day, you did not communicate well with the customer. Well, he didn't like it. He sent a letter to your manager. Well, you had a good conversation, and now you understand, well, I need to improve that. So yeah. Sounds like that. Cool. So thank you for your time, guys. I see some messages popping on our chat. Let's start going through the questions. I see a couple statements, but let's go through the questions. So Vladimir, what do you think about the fact that Salesforce has removed types of partners such as silver, gold, platinum, and etc.? It's good. Good question. What do you think about it? Is it bothering you at all? Liubou, do you want to take this one, maybe?
So yeah, I can. So from one side, it's make my life a little bit easier, because when there was different types of partners, we were trying to achieve that platinum status and trying to get all the certificates and all this response from the client that everything is okay. And now we can reorganize our time and be more focused on the things that are really important for our growth. And yeah,
it's kind of hard work on the background to work on those levels, maintain those levels.
Yeah,
I don't think that it's become an easier. It's become kind of different. So another question. And now actively promoting special exams for companies on the learning camp platform. How do you feel about that? Did you had a chance to look into that list of exams, like 30+ exam on the learning camp? Kostadin?
I had no idea they had so many, actually. No, I haven't gone through the whole thing.
Yeah, so answering on that question, I don't know how I feel about it, but I see that for someone who's want to improve himself in new areas of Salesforce, like Health Cloud, Financial Cloud, that might be a good start. like just going through the learning camp course. Anyway, it's just between your company and Salesforce. Okay, next one. What motivates you on project as a team tech lead? Tech lead, and what is your opinion? And what, in your opinion, motivates the team or a team member on your project? Kostadin, do you want to take this one?
Yes. I think that was an easy one, but I'll base my answer on my last project. My team is motivated by delivering a solution. Basically, the developers like to solutionize. This is their number one motivation. They can provide a solution based on the functional requirements that is provided by the business analyst. They solutionize and they execute and deliver the story and the feature that we are adding to the product. This is their main motivation, and they really like it. And as soon as I see that the business analyst, because we have also business analysts that are Salesforce people, they understand heavily from Salesforce, they start solutionizing within the tickets, and I can see that their morale gets lower and lower with every ticket. And on top of that, they're not really happy delivering something that the business analyst has thought of.
Good. Next one. You talked a lot about the technical culture within the company, which allow you to grow. Are you satisfied with the one at EPAM when it comes to Salesforce? And any suggestions on how to improve it? They both?
Yeah, I can say that currently we have pretty good culture and it's not kind of depends on the platform, not platform, but your technical domain. So it's the same culture when you're a Salesforce guy or you're Java guy. So there's a single rule for everyone. And if we are speaking about some trainings and such things for Salesforce guys, we actually on our way to build such trainings, mentoring program, and assessment process for architects. Currently, we have really good Salesforce lab where we teach students what is Salesforce, how to implement code in that platform, and so on. Like great lab. We have amazing templates that show what is the expectation of the person on each level, like what should person know to become a technical lead or team lead and so on. Then we have pretty good, I'm not sure how it's called, it's upskilling program for business analysts who want to become Salesforce consultant. So from my point of view, it's really great culture in EPAM as a company, and there are a lot of opportunity for people to grow inside the company in this Salesforce direction.
Yeah, I feel like there is always something what you can improve or do. But the challenge is that you need to start managing more people, like globally. So there is a couple initiatives at EPAM which we're working on right now, and like here's the thing: we're not delivering all those like programs when it's not ready. So there is a focus group, there is a expert group who working on those programs. Yeah, so there is a lot of suggestions which coming to us, and we're listening, and we trying to to build something good for all. I would say most important that we have, that's the culture of resource managers who are also as Salesforce experts. So this is the first person who can help you in building your personal development plan, or helping with assessment, or any kind of your request, like you're feeling that your project is not enough challenging. or you ready to go into another, I don't know, technology like a field service lighting, you want to try it. So those persons will listen to you, definitely. Okay, next one. Could you provide any of your personal approaches on how to stay motivated during Salesforce and soft skills development? Okay. Kostadin, do you want to handle this one?
Yeah, well, I did touch base on the soft skills. I'll just reiterate it. Basically, for me, it's feedback. I was always asking for feedback from all the clients that I've worked with, from my development team. Also, as a resource manager, I get feedback back from my team at EPAM. So basically, this is the only way you can improve it. And I'm asking basically everything, not only technical skills, but, you know, how I act, and are you happy with, you know, how we are dealing with specific issues, situations, development related things, basically feedback. As for did you say motivation? I think the person said how you stay motivated. I think this is strictly individual. For me, my motivation is when I hop onto a new project is basically to deliver up to my standards, and my standards are high. And when the client wants to cut corners, I hate it, and I become demotivated for sure. So this is my personal motivation. It's delivering a proper product. It's pretty much working for your name, right? Because you don't want your name to be associated with a piece of work that's no good.
Good saying. Okay. Next one, looking back at such an extensive journey for you both, is there a thing that you like the best about Salesforce? Liubou, Kostadin, maybe short answers.
Actually, the first thing that came to my mind, it's an order of execution. A lot of troubles and bugs coming from it, but when you start to understand it, it makes your life really easier.
Order execution is something what you like the best about Salesforce. Nice, cool. Kostadin?
Yeah, so I would say that the best thing I like about Salesforce is that a person with zero experience that can hop in and in a matter of months can become expert and start digging in. It's really a great platform if you're, you know, if you want to orient yourself into the IT sector, and all these things are sort of interesting to you. This is a great platform to work with, and it's really easy to get into it. And I like the simplicity. It has complex things, but it's easy to start with.
Thank you. Next one. Okay, there is a situation. Let's imagine the situation that one of your teammates is going to change the project company. He's performing like a rock star, but you also know that the new project company is amazing and it's a great opportunity for his career growth. What will you do? Are you going to retain him, her in the team? Liubou? I mean, there is obvious answer, like how we can let the rockstar to leave.
So actually, yeah, you know, I had such situation in my previous experience being resource manager. I had an amazing girl in my resource pool, and she has a dream to live in USA. And now she's living in the USA. Short answer. So I would say that you should give your team member understanding what he can have in the company and in your team, and person should decide if he want to leave your pool, your project, your company or not. It's not your decision, actually. You should provide people clear vision, what you can give in this case, and then person's decision.
Kostadin?
Yeah, I think this is kind of easy for me. I would definitely, and I think this has been, currently at EPAM looks like this is part of, our internal politics, but I would definitely encourage the person to pursue his growth. So I wouldn't think about it at all. I mean, regardless, because if you don't allow him to do it, then he'll become demotivated and he'll probably leave the company. So if he's just changing projects, that's fine. I mean, we should really adapt to it and should trust what people want.
Yeah, actually, I'm facing this situation now on my current project. I'm a solution architect. I have a great developer, amazing developer. Just I know that I can speak with him fluently. I can trust in him. He communicated with the customer just wonderful, and I see he's a middle developer, and I understand that there is some kind of projects which you joining like for 6 months, 1 year, and you need to move on, and this is completely okay. This project can be challenging for someone who, I don't know, don't have experience in CI/CD or in enterprise, right? But I feel like, oh man, I don't want to let him go. I wish I would have the challenging work for him, but and nowadays the best what I can do, I can let him go into another project. So this is it. Sometimes you met persons, wonderful persons, wonderful developers on all companies, and you saying goodbye, but then you hope that you will meet again in the same project or company. So that's reality. Okay, another one. What technology do you think is currently the fastest growing in terms of force? For example, velocity. Kostadin, Liubou.
Yes, velocity is definitely is fastly emerging right now, and the amount of people that are certified and the amount of experts that there's in the pool of Salesforce experts is quite low. But on the other hand, I'm also thinking that I think it was formerly called cloud craze. It's not like B2B cloud. It's also one of them. Basically, you can spin off easily sites based on Salesforce for selling, business to business products. But yeah, I think these two, velocity is definitely one of them, and also the B2B and probably the B2C clouds are the fastest emerging clouds for Salesforce. And I know that they're still adapting them because perhaps they're still not yet natively, all of them are natively on Salesforce, because they used to be custom solutions built by third parties.
Okay, Liubou, what is your opinion?
I actually agree with Kostadin about velocity, and there is no other technology that's coming to my mind for the moment.
I would say MuleSoft. If you want to surprise your company, just say I'm a certified MuleSoft developer, and boom, you have a happy soup. Like I see that can be a game changer for a career, especially when there is a project and you need to integrate it with the MuleSoft. Really valuable resources. Okay, and I think this is the last question. What is your favorite tool to visualize technical solution to a customer team? Good question. Kostadin, what do you use?
We're talking about ERDs, I guess.
I guess that's any sort of the technical solution which you present to customer.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure whether there's anything else but Lucy charts, because that's what I use all the time. I mean, I haven't even tried to look for anything else but Lucy charts. So I say Lucid charts.
Okay, Liubou, any tool of preference?
Yeah, my answer it depends. So if I need just to draw a diagram and show it to the client, yeah, definitely Lucid chart will be the best one. And after that, it actually depends what is the purpose of that technical solution. Who will be like an audience who will be looking to that solution? So if we are speaking about some request for proposal where we showing customer our understanding, it's usually just presentation with nice slides where you describing all the pros and cons and describe general solution with all the details and add nice diagrams on it. If we are speaking about some implementations that your team should do, it's usually words and Lucid charts and Confluence. It depends what client used for storing their documents. So it can be, for example, a page on Confluence with some diagrams and explanation of the future solution. So, something like that.
Great. I would say, Lucid chart can be a little bit pricey, especially when, your company don't want you to to recover the cost. But Dravio, it's kind of simplified, but also really powerful. Should not stop you to, build anything what you want to. Another thing, if you really are working as a consultant or like technology advisor, take a look into Miro. It become more and more popular in the way that you can draw some user journeys, integrations. It's pretty good tool as well. Okay, so I think this is it. I had really wonderful session. I think we achieved what we tried to do: transparent conversation. We heard many great advices, and now that's the biggest challenge for us. Let's pick 2 questions, which is like you like the most. Liubou, just take one, and Kostadin, another one.
I really like the question from Oleg. It is the 3rd one from top. What motivates you on a project as a team lead? I think this is a really good one.
Awesome. Liubou?
I would probably vote for the last one about visualization tools.
Great. So guys, Oleg and Konstantin, if you're still here, just drop your personal email. You can do this in private, or anyway, you can find me on LinkedIn and just drop your personal email there, as you wish. So I'm waiting on your personal email. If you want to get your surprises, your presents, just do that. I'm not sure if I'm able to get email from the Zoom. Anyway, thank you guys. That was a wonderful session. And for all who joined us, stay tuned. This is just one of the session in series of our advices in your career. If you did not watch, there is a previous session, how like solution architect journey. Just find it on YouTube. That also great session. Thank you for your time, and stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.